silver, hearts of steel.
Welcome back to Retro Wednesday. It's Titanium Hanger. This is Mike, and today I want to talk to you about the Super 7 Reaction Silverhawks. Now, I've been working on another video that I was going to put up today, but I'm glad to have another week to work on that for unreleased stuff. But this is pretty important in my opinion. I wanted to absolutely love these, and I love the vac metal. I love the look at them. There's some drawbacks to these figures, but I am going to get a set. I was plan on getting 3 sets if they did it the way I wanted it, but now it's looking like just 1 set at full price, which is 25 bucks each. By the way, they're not cheap. We're going to get into looking at all that. We're going to see how they look in the package, and these are reaction figures, 3.75 inch figures. That's the first drawback. I was hoping closer to regular size. We'll get into looking at this, all the different angles of these figures and more on this Retro Wednesday coming up. Okay, so first of all, I want to discuss the size, 3.75. You're going to say, well, every other reaction figure line has been 3.75, so the expectation is that it should be 3.75. And I understand that, and I was just hoping they'd be a little bit bigger, match up to the original Kinner, but these are a couple of my spares I pull out. I should have taken my best, I guess, but they look okay. But it's a size comparison. As you can see, the reaction figure shipwreck is drastically shorter than them, but right in line sort of with Star Wars. And that C-3PO's vac metal also, so I thought that would be a good one to throw in this picture. And then just for whimsy, that's a Fun School Zartan, tossing that in the mix also. But there you go. Does not fit with your original Kinner, which is an issue because Steelheart is a very expensive figure from Kinner if you try to get it on the secondary market, and a lot of people would probably want to sub in this Steelheart instead of spending $150 to $200 on a nice pristine version to just open up the Super 7 one, put it on their shelf, but it might not truly be an option. Next I want to show the packaging, and the packaging is very similar to all the other reactions figures, but I don't know why they don't go that extra little distance and kind of give us the vintage style packaging. Well, probably because the arms don't move to the side. Probably because it's missing the wings. Probably because it doesn't have the similar type bird. It's a perched bird, not a bird with the wings out that you can do a couple things with. So there's major differences. So if you were wanting Kinner, this isn't for you. This is a whole different thing. And it's one of those things I've been wondering for 3 or 4 years now, when are we going to see what the reactions look like? And now we finally get to see them. Let's just take a look at Steelheart for a second. First off, I love the vac metal look. So that looks great. And we're going to see another picture that's the actual. So I think this is a render. And then we get to see the real one here in just a minute, which the vac metal is very nice on him, which also surprises me about how good that one looks. And the bird perches. I do like the fact that we got that on the chest. We have the symbol on there. That looks nice. And so there's a lot of good things that they have done with the vac metal, the painted arm, the painted face. The bird, though, I mean, it's Tallyhawk and it looks okay. But here is another picture. Now, from this picture, I think this vac metal looks more silvery than the Ultimates one, which, again, makes me curious if it is. It might just be the lighting, it might be the angle, it might be a whole lot of things, but it looks nice. It's bling, and that's what you want from Silverhawks. So I'm glad they did the vac metal. Even though it's costing $5 more a figure, I'm still glad they did the vac metal. I think it looks really good. The bird looks okay, perched on his arm, and of course I don't know what arm you'd rather perch it on, that one or the one with the vac metal. You're going to rub the vac metal or you're going to rub the paint off of the said vac metal. So it's a tough decision either way. I do like the paint app. So this is the actual figure, not just a render, and looks pretty good. 2025 Silverhawks LC. It's funny, too, because you know they were working on this stuff well before 2025, and we're only getting the release on the 7th, and they've updated all of the stuff. If you see at the bottom, if I don't cut it off, 2025. Now for a quick comparison to Quicksilver, and that's how it looks compared to the vintage one. The vintage one does have the wings. The arms go to the side. These arms are just going to go straight forward and back, just like all the other reaction figures. It doesn't get anything special. No special treatment here, but I still do think that it looks good. It's going to be fun. It's one you probably want to display on a separate shelf. This is probably for people that don't have a vintage collection and you don't want to intermingle this with your vintage because the size is going to be different. But then again, you might do that just for fun. Just have them side by side. I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see what people's displays look like with this. But I guess a lot of people will keep on the card, even though the card isn't really all that retro. So now we can just get into the carded version compared to the carded vintage version. And so on one hand, if you spent $1,200 on her carded or whatever crazy amount she goes for, then you're probably going to be happy that somebody can't just go out and buy one almost exactly like it and replace it for 25 bucks. I mean, 25 bucks is a lot of money. But 25 bucks isn't a lot of money for an exact one-to-one replacement of this. Now, this is going to be considerably smaller for the new one than the vintage one, and you can see the difference in the artwork. I also want to point out the difference in coloration, but since this is a render in carded form, let's go ahead and see what the real ones look like. So the real one is going to have a lighter color, and that probably mirrors the Ultimate's color. Still hard to tell, especially from this angle. And this is really the only picture you got of the actual prototype or first shot. Here's the thing. These are supposed to be coming in January of 2025. It says on BBTS, delivering January 2025. So I think these are already created. They're already manufactured, and either they're just now showing up to Super 7, then getting shipped out to BBTS and Entertainment Earth and all of them, or they're going to be here very soon. So it's one of those things that we expect to see them by the end of the month. They're pre-ordered, even though they're going to be here by the end of the month, theoretically. I do want to point out the neck is vac metal on the new figure, the new Steelheart with Razor, and the neck on the original one is all painted over as flesh colors. So that's an interesting different change. But yeah, looking at them, this is the second most expensive figure in the line aside from the ultrasonic Quicksilver, and a lot of people would probably be excited to just pay 25 bucks, open it up, put it on a shelf. Heck, you could even get a small little stand elevator about an inch or two and make her fit in. Next up we got Bluegrass, and I'm going to show it next to a carded vintage one. Here's the problem, though. We have no idea how they're going to package it. Looks like very similar. So this one will probably be one of the better figures because it will retain pretty much the same level of gimmick aside from the guitar is not going to, the sideman is not going to pop out of his back. So you're not going to be able to put that on his back. Not really a big deal at all, but maybe you can. Maybe they engineered a way that you could pop this on his back also. The strap, I guess, is what you're going to have to use. The strap to put on his back. But yeah, still, this is pretty cool overall. The vintage one did have a launching feature where it launched out. I think it was supposed to shoot the wings out. It does have what appears to be a removable hat. All that good stuff looks good. Let's go ahead and take a look at it out of the package and the real deal test shot. So as you can see right here, a pretty close color match on the back metal and a pretty nice replacement. One thing is that this is actually a pretty cheap figure to get. If you just get him and his guitar, to get his hat on there is like another 50 bucks. If people want 50 bucks for that hat, maybe, just maybe, that hat will be a nice replacement, kind of like a repro hat on a vintage one, but I don't know because it's considerably smaller. Maybe the hat won't fit, but anyhow, it's we could hope, right? Still, it looks pretty good. So this probably is the standout best one of the wave, or if you're looking at it matching the vintage Kenner. But as for the rest of them, they all look pretty good, all the back metal ones, and even when we get to Mon-star, they all look pretty good. But let's do one more picture here. Here is a picture of him with his on his back. His guitar on his back, you can see what's going on right there. It's a lot harder to see. I guess that what we're seeing is a render that we compare it to, but yeah, I do feel like they kind of captured a similar style pose. They captured everything very, very similar. It's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. I'm pretty pleased with that one. Aside from the size being too small, it's a nice modern upgrade, a modern update to a good figure. Is it Sideman or Hot Licks for the guitar? Next we have the Mon-star, and it's the pre-transformation Mon-star. Now there's not going to be a vintage comparison to this, and really it's right in line with what they did in the Ultimates. And I will say that when they first came out with this in Ultimates, I said, this is not a figure we need. What a waste of time. But as time went by, I'm glad they made it. That was a really smart choice. And in this case, I think it's a smart choice also. Could you put this one in with your vintage collection? Probably not. But will people do it? Probably. They'll figure out a way. They'll elevate them a little bit, make them a little bigger, a little better. And then here we go with Mon-star. And there's this packaging. That's what it looks like. Not all like the vintage Kinner, but you still have the logo, and that works. And it is what it is. So, is this worth $25, not vac metalized? I bet you Brian would say we'd have to charge $27 if we vac metal all 4. So the cost of vac metal carrying over to him a little bit takes it down to where they only have to do $25. I bet you that's what the reasoning, the rationale would be on that one. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. It looks pretty decent. And here's the card back. Collect them all. There's only 4. I really do hope, I mean, if they're going to do this line right, to collect them all, that they stepped into this. They should list everything as they go, progressively. And that would be awesome. And then eventually make it to where they've done all the vintage figures to a point and mirror the card back to the original. It'd be awesome if they could do that. Probably wouldn't do the big birds. I don't think those would sell at all. They would definitely people would buy that Mirage. And if they do make a Mirage that fits the Ultimates, I don't see why they couldn't have plug-in pieces to make these fit. I mean, that would be awesome too. Like little plug-in parts to fit these in there. But then again, you don't want to scratch up your vac metal. Still, lots of great ideas for this line. I'm going to support it. I'm going to buy one of each. They're up for pre-order right now on BBTS. So I'm curious what everybody thinks about this first wave of 4 figures, Super 7 Ultimates, not Ultimates, reaction. What is your reaction to this news that we got today? And is anybody going to pick these up for $25 each? Are you going to wait and hope for a sell but maybe miss out? What's your plan? Do you not have any interest in Silverhawks, or did they miss it one way or another by not having wings, not having the pop-out arms, not having the size to them? Let me know in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and tell your hang out.
You will build me a battle cruiser, a ship so strong it will be like a fortress in space.
You're Quicksilver, right?
Yes, sir. That's right.
Oh, canny sir stuff, Lieutenant. We're gonna be working together too closely for all that. You're Steelheart, right? And you must be your little brother Steelwill, Colonel Bluegrass.
You ever seen a toy like this?